Hello everyone, my name is Katerina Krivolap and I'm an artist who adores Petrikivka. First of all, I would like to say thank you so much for your interest in my online workshop. And as a gift, I would like to give you a small free lesson with exercises. For this lesson, you will need a sheet of paper and one paint. I will use acrylic, but you can replace it with gouache if you want. And of course, we will need a brush. I will use a magic one, a cat brush, but if you don't have, please don't be upset. You can replace it with a small size of round brush. At least for first time it will be okay. So let's try. We'll need one color of paint. I will use acrylic and of course a brush. I'll be using a cat brush, but I also want to demonstrate how it can be replaced with a regular round brush. We dip the brush in water and then in the paint. Your paint should be liquid. At first, I will demonstrate the basic brush stroke. You see, we gently touch the paper with the tip of the brush, and only then we press the brush completely. If your brush stroke doesn't have the same shape as mine, it can mean two things. Either your brush is larger or smaller in size, or you might not have enough paint on your brush. So remember to dip your brush in the paint each time. The next exercise is the same brush stroke, but now we will do it in different sizes. We start with a small one, then medium, and finally a large one. If you've noticed, for the small size we use only a small part of our brush, and for the large one we use the entire brush. Well, in the next exercise we tilt the basic stroke to the side and create a chain of such brush strokes, tilting them to the right, to the left. The next row will be a bit more complex. We will create the same chain, but this time with brush strokes of two different sizes. If you want to have same strokes as mine, your brush should be well loaded with paint while still having a sharp tip. The next element is a leaf. We begin with a line and then we add brush strokes to the line. We start with larger ones and decrease their size towards the top. Let's make one more leaf, but this time we tilt it in the opposite direction. From my experience, I'll tell you that achieving a thin line doesn't always happen on the first try. So I'll give you two of my secrets that will help you achieve the best result. The first and very important piece of advice is to pay attention to your hand. Your hand should not be in the air. It should be stable on the table. And the second secret is the consistency of your paint. It should be even thinner than usual. Now let's create a different version of the leaf when we have brush strokes on both sides. Since this element is one of the most frequently used in Petrikivka, I recommend practicing it a bit more. Now I would like to demonstrate what we can use as a substitute for the cat brush. It's a simple round brush with a sharp tip size 2. I've never replaced the cat brush before, and I'm doing it for the first time along with you. As you can see, it's possible to create similar brush strokes, but I'll be honest with you, that the tip of the brush strokes is not as fine as I'm used to. Historically, the cat brush has been the primary tool in Petrikivka, but I personally know artists who don't use it, so it's just a question of what is more convenient for you. I'm a huge fan of the cat brush, but my goal was to show that if there is a strong desire and you don't have the necessary brush, you can find a substitute. I hope this lesson was helpful for you and you've learned the basic brush strokes that we will use in the online workshop. See you then!